Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes had bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we won.
So, Trump has dropped a massive fucking red pill, dude. He got rid of the critical race theory. Ooh, dude, that's massive. That is a massive fucking blow, dude. I don't think people realize, I think what's so crazy about it is, half y'all didn't even know that you're, a part of a theory, that you're pushing out a theory, a philosophy that ties into postmodernism and ties into critical theory and Karl Marx, and you're just fighting the patriarchy, and you're just, oh, these damn white people, fuck these people, they're inherently racist, they have white privilege, dude, get over yourselves. You're brainwashed. I mean, you didn't raise a brow when white privilege and that whole scheme starts coming around. You never raised a brow. The idea, let's walk through it. The idea that all white people are racist, and the idea that I have subconscious biases that guide my behaviors to be racist without me knowing it. So not only do I not only do you not know what thoughts I have that are racist, I apparently don't know what racist thoughts that I have. And therefore, how does that make sense? If you can't pinpoint it down, and then you look to me and I say, yeah, I can't pinpoint it down apparently. Apparently I just got this shit in me that I don't know about. Do you know about it? No, I don't know about it, but I know about it. You are so lost. You're literally sucked into a theory. You're sucked into a philosophy, an ideology. This isn't, and then you're spewing it out like this is facts. Well, you didn't know that? You didn't? No, this isn't real. It's not real. It's not real. It's that simple. And to say that, white people are privileged. I mean, if you want to play, you know what? I'll bite. I'll bite on the identity politics. Which group of white people apparently has privilege? Is the Germans, the Russians, Italians? Do they count? I don't know. They're kind of white, kind of not. I mean, which white people are the oppressor and have privilege? Because as it seems, there are multiple other fucking categories of ethnic groups that are doing well beyond white people, like Indians, dude. Bro, they're crushing. Asians, crushing. Nigerians, they take up they're 1% of the African fucking population and community. Bro, they take up 25% of Harvard. Get the fuck out of here, dude. But it's okay, because you'll go to school, you get a fresh new 18-year-old kid that comes in your class, and you teach him, hey, guess what? And he goes, oh boy, what? I'm new to this. This is cool. I get to learn and educate and just join the world and the workforce when I graduate. Hey, you're a fucking racist. What? No, I just fucked a black girl last week. What are you talking about? No, you're racist. Because all of your ancestors were racist, you have to atone for their sins. Oh, okay. So that makes sense. I have to atone for the sins of all, injustices that white people apparently did. Okay. Then in that case, every community can start atoning for the sins. How about blacks take responsibility for selling other blacks to the Saudis, to the Saudi Arabians, and sell them and enslave them, and then sell them to us. They enslaved them and sold them to Saudis. So what about that? This is fucking ridiculous. It's all identity politics. It's all. If you can't smell the bullshit, let's take a whiff, dude. It's a giant turd. It's a giant turd. And it's just, they sprinkle it on top with all the bullshit of saying that this is well, they don't even say for equality. Everything's equity. We've played the equity game before. 100 million people have died from it. From socialism, communism. We've played the equity game. It doesn't work. It's not good. It turns into, it's just silly. It's silly. You guys are all playing the fucking collective game. The collective game is a game. It's I get it. It sounds good on paper. You don't want anybody to suffer. Yeah, precisely. But what it seems to be, okay. Now, I could be wrong. Okay. But what it seems to be is that people typically do better and even act better if they are taught to take individual responsibility and accountability of their actions, and also try to build good values and character. Martin Luther King talked about this. Judge a man by his character. That we don't have that anymore. You don't judge somebody by their character anymore. You don't take individual situations, individual anything, I'm only 26. When I grew up, it was like you would see some horrific shit happen, and everybody's like, oh, that is evil. Do not be like that. Your mom, your dad, hey, do you see that? No, that's evil shit, dude. You treat everybody how you want to be treated, and we're not getting taught that. What we're getting taught is to be a victim. We're being taught that there's an oppressor and that white people are the oppressor, but it's so just infuriating that people are taking the bait. But this has been, I get why they're taking the bait. It's been pushed at us for, since the 60s, really. This is all coming from the 60s. You guys don't realize it, but it comes from Karl. Some people know this part. It's Karl Marx, his bullshit. Okay, it's his bullshit, and they did a sleight of hand. Okay, and a lot of it gets pushed from the French. Like, I think his name's like Jacques Dioget or some. I can't say his fucking name. I don't care. But there's the French intellectuals pushed the same kind of framework from communism, but into philosophy, and we went from modernism to postmodernism. Now, so what the fuck modernism is what the majority of the world is on. Okay, we believe in reasoning, logic, individualism, not collectivism, but individualism, and it's all based off of like the scientific method, because from before modernism we did like mysticism, okay, and that's where you dealt with mythology, and you're dealing with the sun is there because there's a fucking god that rides in a chariot. There's no actual science that's doing, and then we moved on. Now we're backtracking to now you can't. It's all subjective. There's no objective truth. That's the fucking problem that people don't see here. That a lot of people they're not paying attention. They're not paying attention. They're taking part in this giant monster of horse shit. That all comes back from the fucking university professors. Well, 1 in 5 university professors are fucking Marxists in the social sciences. 1 in 5. Okay, that's fucking appalling, dude. That's appalling, So I don't personally get I personally don't get what's going on, and it's taken me a long time to wrap my head around this, because when you use logic and reasoning and you're objective and you try to understand the world, as we all have grown up for quite a while. We've been in the modern age. That gets thrown all out the window. That's why none of this makes sense. That's why when you argue with somebody, it doesn't make sense. These people, they don't understand that they don't know how to use logic and reasoning and rationality and accountability, and that is why when you argue with somebody about this and you're like, no, by saying that all white people have a privilege, you're technically discriminating against them, and that makes you the racist. You're like, no, you're a fucking white supremacist. And then, but what's that do to the rational, normal person? This gets you to want to self-censor, because you're just like, whoa, what? Like, no, no, that's not it. I'm not that. That's not what happens. But you're calling an entire, like, population racist. I mean, it's insane that it's even gotten this far. You know, there is no individual act of evil anymore. There is no, there's none of that. I mean, it's insane to me. So the idea that Trump took out critical race theory is fucking crazy and the fattest bomb that I have seen in a hot minute. I mean, all of that is complete bullshit. It is complete bullshit, and it doesn't make sense. And you're like, well, that's because you're racist, Jack. It doesn't make sense because you're racist. And you're like, no, it doesn't make sense because it doesn't make sense. And you can't prove that. You can't prove that. But I can also prove that if there were privilege for white people, I think you'd see it a little more. In a lot of the cases, like the other thing I find interesting is there's that white people have a bias and they don't see the racist acts that push our behavior. So what about the biases of other people? I mean, if I walked into like a fucking bar and it was all black people and I'm white and they all looked at me, and I thought, wow, they're looking at me probably because I'm white. It could be true. But it could also fucking not be true. Maybe I'm ugly as shit, dude. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, you're literally dabbling in fucking magic. Like, trying to say this is real. Because that would be a bias. You could flip... I used white just to not make anybody fucking angry. But you could flip the fucking role in anything. And you'd be like, oh, well, these people they're discriminating against me because I can tell. They looked at me. No, you can't. That's why this is so tricky. Racism is always tricky. You could have no racist acts, and then, because that's the point, you know, is you have to get them. You have to get them, but now it's flipped. You know, it's flipped, and now you're telling me what's in my subconscious mind. I mean, how absurd! It's my subconscious. I don't even know what's in there. You dumb bitch. You know, it's silly, and you're fucking brainwashed, and you're fucking you're a cuck. You're a cuck for buying into this, and you're a fucking man pussy. That's your fucking issue. You're a fucking man pussy. So get over it. White people aren't racist. Black people aren't racist. There's acts of evil, and you know, at the end of the day, you got to teach people to have actual values and characteristics, and to you know, you got to fortify yourself and come after this shit. I mean, hard, because this is a massive destruction of the Western civilization. It's massive. This is the biggest attack that I think we've had in a hot minute. I mean, of all this bullshit, and you're taking away all the ideals of America, all of it. Because the real ideals, not the ones you've been fed about this crazy patriarchy and how terrible America is. The real ideas of what America stands for, you're completely destroying. And you could suck my dick from the back for that. Like, it's absurd. It's absurd. So with that, you know, deuces, bitch.
And we say bye-bye.